Great Spirit, Namaste. Saints and sages of all times, of all places, Namaste. O ye powers that be, we call upon thee to join with us at this sacred time. O ye beings of the air, the earth, the fire, the water, the ether, Namaste. Sweep clear our path. Sweep clear the way, that we might see that which needs to be done, that the fog may be swept away. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviyayam Karavavahai Tejasvi Navadidam Astu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om, Om, Om. Om Aim Hrim Klim. Om Aim Hrim Klim. Om Aim Hrim Klim. Hrim Klim Aim Om. May our karma be softened. May the karmas be eased. May the fears of the mind be dissolved away, that we might be transformed, that we might be lifted, that we might find ever greater joy in our lives. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Namaste. Welcome. Welcome to my heart. Welcome to our Sunday Sangha. And then, in the ever-present now, the planetary energy, the force of Lord Pluto came to rest upon the earth. For some, it rested upon their sun, and they found their entire life transformed. All the structures of their life were transformed. They fought against it, as most do when Pluto comes to sit. For some, it set on their moon, causing great disruption in their ability to process their life experiences, if you will, to process it physically and emotionally. To some, it came to sit on Mercury and impacted their ability to communicate. Some no longer were able to speak, or they spoke voraciously, without thinking, without being able to sort through what they were trying to communicate. For some, it came to sit right next to Mars, and they repeatedly fought and fought and fought. They beat up on others, they got beat up on. They psychically raped others, psychically they were raped. I mean, they hurt others, and others hurt them. Viciously, violently. Oh, but for some, it came to sit on their Mars, and they renovated. They renovated their home, they renovated their lives, they renovated the grounds around them. They dug deep in the gardens and redid the gardens. They dug deep in the streets and redid the streets. Come to Chicago, and you'll see what happens when Pluto and Mars come together. And all of the expressways are taken apart and redone. Long periods of time, but ripped apart completely and redone. It's dirty. Moon, Mercury, Mars, Venus. For some, the Pluto comes to sit on their Venus. And they lose. They don't lose. The form of their love changes. Those beings that were in their life that loved them, mama, papa, brothers, sisters, family members, they leave. They go to the other side. They go to another country. They go to another state. But they are no longer as present in the life. And the values change when the Pluto comes to sit on the Venus, causing great reflection and sometimes great sadness. Then Pluto comes to sit on the Saturn. Now, when Pluto comes to sit on the Saturn, it begins to sit in generations, in groups of people, groupets of people, if you will. And the structures of life are reformed, the structures of one's life. And what does that mean? Well, it means that you don't live in the same place, or all of the things that you thought were present to give order to your life dissolve away. They break away in some fashion or another. The seawall falls apart, if you will. Many years ago, Pranananda had an ashram up in Michigan, and one day it became apparent that for a while the seawall had been impacted and the cliff was starting to dissolve away between the house, the ashram, and the water on Lake Michigan. It had been going on a long time, but one day it became apparent that it was time to leave the ashram. This is what it means when the structure falls away. Those things that we think are going to live forever change forms. Pluto comes up to conjunct the Uranus. Well, your freedom could be given to you. Your freedom could be taken away from you. Physical freedom, emotional freedom. You always have freedom. But you may begin to feel as if you don't. And very seldom will any of us live long enough or be born in a time when the Pluto will come back to conjunct itself where it was at our birth. What does this mean? Why is it important to know this if you wish to expand your horizon of awareness? Because like all the planets, the energy of Lord Pluto has the energy to seize you, to seize your mind, so that, my beloved, you're not seeing clearly. The mind can become, if you will, grabbed, possessed. And I mean that literally. You think, what does she mean by the mind becomes possessed? Well, you've all had the experience. The mind becomes possessed by the same thought again and again and again and again and again, over and over and over and over, until you feel as if you cannot free yourself from that thought. Now, if you've been meditating or interning or reflecting, you know by now, I hope, that there are certain conditions that arise in your life that when those conditions arise, when the time gate opens, the mind begins to go down a certain track. Now, you've heard me talk about this before. It goes down a certain track. Now, when the conditions change, the mind doesn't go down that track any longer. We have in our gardens in our backyard what we call the squirrel runway. And we have part of the gardens have an area, a relatively small area that has grass in it. Mostly it's surrounded by gardens. But between one garden and another garden, there's grass. And somehow, and I do not know how this occurred, but somehow the squirrels and the rabbits started going down and making a path from one side to the next, one side to the next. And no matter what we do, they keep going from one side to the next along this path that they have created. Now, the only time that changes is there's snow on the ground. They don't go along exactly the same path when there's snow on the ground. Springtime, summertime, fall time, they go the same path. But there is a time gate, the winter time, when they are still there. There's a time gate in the winter time when the snow is on the ground that they do not go on that path. Now, with all of us, there are time gates with the same thoughts occurring over and over and over and over again. And we must stop and say, is this useful? Is this helpful to me? Is this thought beneficial to me? Is the path that I'm walking on day after day after day after day helpful to my life, to what I wish to bring into my life, to what I wish to do in my life? Is it helpful? And if it is, if the thought is meditate, 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 be more compassionate, be more compassionate, be kinder, be kinder. Good. Keep going. Keep feeding that. But if it's, I gotta, or, oh, let me look at this, oh, let me look at that, oh, let me look at the other thing, then the time has come to slow down, to move to moments in your day of concentration, moments of your day of awareness. There was recently a study done of university students, and the scientists gathered a group of students, two groups of students. One group of students that was very active in multitasking. They are self-identified multitaskers. And the other was a group of people, students, who were identified as non-multitaskers. You know, interestingly enough, they came from different backgrounds, but the multitaskers came from a current worldview, that if they multitasked, they would be more productive. If they multitasked, they would do a better job. They would achieve more. They could do more with the time that they had allotted. And the non-multitaskers either made the excuse, well, in my home that's not how we did things, or my parents never let me do that, or I'm not comfortable with it, or I'm too slow to multitask. That's a good one. So what they did is they brought them all together. Same room, but divided, marked and divided. And they gave them a time limit. And they gave them on paper, no technology, on paper, a set of arrows. One set of arrows red going up, the other set of arrows blue going up. They were supposed to identify all the red arrows. That's all they had to do, was identify the red arrows. In a specific period of time. Surprise, in the beginning of the time, they both did equally well. They both were identifying on track, same identification. But in a very short period of time, in as a minute, 2 minutes, the multitaskers begin to slip up. 60% less accuracy than those who had trained to do one task at a time. 60%. All that happened, the only thing that happened was the multitaskers were so used to doing more than one thing at once that their mind became distracted by the blue arrows. It became distracted by the blue. They could not simply just see the red. They went red, blue. They could not see one thing and go forward. Now I don't know how it feels to you, but it's rather discombobulating to me, because I certainly worked for many years in a world in which everybody thought that you had to multitask. I remember coming to a meeting one day and meeting with someone I didn't know very well, and he brought 3 smartphones to the breakfast. 3. Not 1, not 2, 3. And not one of them was a personal phone. They were all related to his business. I didn't know how he could handle it, and I kind of wondered what he was doing having a meal with me, since he had so much to do. But I've never forgotten it. Now, what does it mean to you in your spiritual life? What does that mean? Well, in a sense, my beloved, it means that one must, to find enlightenment, to find who and what you are, to really become clear about who and what you are, you need to live your life differently. You need to hold a different set of values than most people do, or than many people do. You need to be clear that it is important to slow down, to do one thing at a time. If you're going to drive, drive. If you're going to talk on the phone, talk on the phone. If you're going to take a sip of water, take a sip of water. If you're going to drink a cup of tea, drink a cup of tea. If you're going to meditate, meditate. Don't try to meditate and listen to the radio at the same time. Meditate. To become self-actualized, if you will. What does it mean to be self-actualized? It means to be aware of yourself, the self. But it also means to become aware of this, how this works for you. how your personality works, what you need to do yourself to soften this, to soften this, the words that come out, to soften this, the mind. For that Pluto, that Lord Pluto, as it sweeps through the end of Capricorn, before it moves into Aquarius, which will be a change for all of the world, is affecting every being on the planet. And for some of you, it has come and it is seizing your presence. It is seizing your mind. It is seizing your attention. You need to seize it back. You need to capture it back. You need to embrace it back so that it becomes, that your awareness turns back upon you, not upon others. Don't worry about them. We spend far too much time worrying about them. What are they going to do? What are they going to say? How are they living their life? Now, let it go. Let it go. Please let it go. Let them be happy, living their lives the way that they wish to live their lives. Let them be happy. And you become happy also. And when you let go of things, you have to fill up the space. You have to fill up the psychic space. You have to put something in that is going to be meaningful, something in that's going to be joy-filled. That's the part, that's the reason for all the yoga practices, is so that you have something to put in when you let go of all of the other things. That you have joy to put in, that you have something that you're enthusiastic to put in, that you have creativity to put in. You know, draw a mandala and color it. Doodle. Write a few words down. Sing a song. Sing a song from your childhood that you used to love. Dance. You don't have to make a big deal about it. Just dance a few steps and feel the joy that lifts up with you. Skip. Nobody's watching. Do something to lift your spirits just a little bit, and it will make an enormous difference in your life. And then do as we are going to spend our day, the rest of our time doing. Meditate, 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 meditate. Pluto has an interesting effect upon the mind and upon one's life. It does tend to seize the mind. All the planets can be seizers, and I love the word. That's a way that the Jyotish astrology, Vedic astrology, Indian-based astrology uses that word. It says that the planets are seizers. You don't have to follow them, but they come and they have the capacity to say, here I am, here I am, here I am. Oh, pay attention to me. As if your awareness can be captured. And it can be, and it is, very oftentimes. But with Pluto, there can be a repeated obsessive seizing that you feel as if you cannot become free of. And probably more importantly, it has the capacity to make you feel like you don't want to be free of it. You know, you're just in the presence of that. So you have to find something to be enthusiastic about. You must find something that brings you joy. You must find something that you can say, I'm going to grab onto that. That I will grab onto. That I can handle. That star, that brilliant moonlight, that dewdrop of rain, that smile on the child's face, that unfolding flower, a tree trunk, can move me from where I am, can elevate me, can help me to leave the constriction that has taken up residence in my mind. And so every day it is necessary, make a habit of finding and knowing the small things in life that bring you joy. Become like my friend Ramila. She loves Lord Shiva, Ramila does. And I've seen again and again and again, people bring her flowers and she never smells them. Ever, ever, ever. Never smells a flower. You know, people will bring you flowers and you'll put the bouquet up to your face. No, Ramila never does that. She'll say, thank you. I'm going to take it and offer it to the Lord. And she takes it and puts it in a vase, or, you know, but takes it over to her altar, or if she's in her office, she puts it aside. She takes it to and offer it to the Lord. And I asked her one day about this, and I said, Ramila, I noticed, you don't, Ramila, you never smell these beautiful flowers people bring you. Oh, no. The first smell is for the Lord. If I take it, then I'm taking the joy of what I'm trying to offer to my beloved Lord. One time I went to see her and she was having a cup of chai. You know, if you're an American and you're having a cup of tea, and somebody comes and sees you, you start chatting and you drink your tea and chat and drink your tea. And I did not realize that I had interrupted her tea until she put the chai down and just stood there as I was. I said, excuse me. I said, I interrupted your chai. She said, I can't do two things at once. I can listen to you or I can drink my tea. And I said, how about if you drink your tea and I'll come back? And she smiled and said, okay. It's still hot. Okay, I'll do that. You don't want cold chai, especially with the milk in it. She didn't offend me. She put her chai down. But my unawareness didn't see that I should have come back before interrupting her. She was doing one thing at a time. She was not drinking her coffee and working on her phone, or drinking her coffee and working on her tablet, or having her tea and doing the same. Become single-focused. Make an effort to stop multitasking. And I say that to you with a lot of love and with a lot of experience, as someone who for many years when I was working multitasked. And my guru would say to me, stop multitasking. Stop doing that. Do not do that. And every once in a while I find myself back in that boat. And every once in a while I have to turn the boat around and stop. It's an easy boat to get into. And in our world today, not so easy to get out of. But try your best to be single-focused. Try your best to find the joy and the beauty in life so that you can stop along the way. one of my beautiful disciples is a poet, and she has translated beautiful, beautiful some of the sacred texts from Sanskrit. And it is always remarkable to me to read her work because it is so beautiful in translation, just absolutely beautiful. And I remember saying to her one day, how, this is really lovely. How do you do this? And she said, well, my Sanskrit isn't very good. I do it one word at a time. One word, I look up the word, and then I meditate. How does this flow? How does it go? And I take word by word by word, and I have a line. And then I look at how does the placement go? And it requires single focus. Find something in your life that you can do that with, and do it. Find something in your life that you like a lot, that you can be enthusiastic about a lot, and use it. Find something to be happy. Find something that brings you joy. And don't worry about what brings everybody else joy. If you want to go see the movie Barbie 2 days in a row, 2 times in a row, like somebody told me they did the other day, do that. It's fine. If you want to dance to rock and roll music or jazz or blues or reggae or sing along to folk music, do that. Here's the key. In one sense, here's the magic. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks about what you're doing to be joy-filled. Don't worry about it. If you want to go out in the backyard and skip around, or go down to the beach and skip, or stand on your head, or play with the kittens or the cats or your children, do that. Or take the colors out and coloring book. Do that. And don't be concerned. The thoughts that come in your mind will say, well, I can't let them see me doing that. I can't do that. What will they think of me if I do that? I'm an adult. I'm not supposed to do that. You can have a lot of fun going to the children's section of a bookstore or a library. Just sitting there and pulling out the books and reading is wonderful. And a lot of children's books are not so good, but some of them are very good. And some of them are really fun. What I'm trying to say is that for you, there's magic, there's fun, there's joy that you sometimes stop yourself from enjoying because your mind is worried about what are they going to say if they see me, or what would they think if they thought that I did that. Don't worry about that. I remember somebody telling me one time, so-and-so, I won't tell you who so-and-so was, but it was a pretty well-known person in the yoga world. So-and-so has a terrible voice. You listen to the recordings, just terrible, terrible voice. But he sure does like to sing, and he sure does sing a lot. And everybody accepts the fact that he's singing. He may miss a note here and there, but he's singing, he's enjoying it, he's bringing joy. And so I will summarize what I'm saying to you today by saying, the energy that's in the world today, it may feel as if it's seizing your mind. It may feel as if you're not able to be free and happy. But you can be. Choose to be. And it does not mean that all of the difficulties in your life are going to dissolve away, but it does mean that you have the potential for just this moment to let the light in, to find the joy, to find the beauty. And when you do that, everything changes. Make a habit of finding the joy. And now let us go and spend some time together in meditation. Namaste, Ji. Namaste. Before we begin our meditation, I would like to remind you, during the meditation we may use a particular mudra. And there's a mudra called the Lotus Mudra, which we may use, and I want to be sure that you are aware of that or reminded of it. You bring in the hands together like this, bring the thumbs together like this, bring the small finger, and the other fingers are held out as if in a cup. So your hands, for this purpose, are held at the Mercury chakra, right above the Venus, and cupping, so that it is your head is resting, the Mercury chakra, and the head is resting in the mudra. We may do that if you hear me say, use the Lotus Mudra. This is what the Lotus Mudra is. Shanti. Placing your hands in the Om Mudra, bringing the index finger and the thumb together. Place them on your thighs. Turn your head to the left, exhaling twice. And bring the head back to the center, beginning to watch the breath. On the next inhalation of the breath, pull the energy from the limbs of the body to the trunk of the body. Use the sipping breath. And now from the trunk to the spinal column. And now from the base of the spine to the sun center. Move that energy out in front of you as a golden ball of light. Expand it and sweep around to the left, encasing your entire being in golden light. And do this 3 times. Now expand that golden light. And ascend upward. Ascend above the building. Above the city. Above the continent. Above the earth plane. Ascend as high as you are able. Shanti. Reaching the high place of meditation. Find yourself a comfortable place to meditate. And just watch your breath, inhaling and exhaling. In front of you, you see a path. It is calling upon you, calling you. Step upon the path. Looking up, you see that it is leading up a mountain. Entering into the path, you enter into a forest. Teeming with life. Ascend upward. See the light pouring down into the forest. Hear the stream next to you. See the ground covered with bluebells and yellow flowers. Ascend. The path opens in front of you to a meadow. The meadow is teeming with life. Walk through the meadow. Be aware of the life all around you. Returning to the forest, you are high upon the mountain. Only the pines grow here. The path is soft. Ascend higher. You see a brilliant light in front of you. It goes brighter as you walk towards it. The path opens to a grove. Enter the light. You see in the light a shrine. Radiating with colors perfect for you. Enter the shrine. Breathe in the color. Walk to the back of the shrine. There's a pool of light. Enter into the pool and feel everything beginning to dissolve away. All of the old beliefs, the old karma, the old constriction dissolves away. And you walk back to the waterfall of light. Standing beneath the light, it pours down upon your crown center. Filling every cell of your being with light. Loosening the karmic bounds. Letting go. Filling the empty space with light. Breathe in the light. As the light pours down upon your crown center, feel it filling. Ananda, 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 Ananda. Healing, vivifying, strengthening, bringing you all that you need. Walk forth from the waterfall, through the pool of light, continuing to breathe in the light, sealing your entire being in the light. Walk forth from the shrine, feeling yourself vivified and renewed, strengthened. Return to a high place of meditation. See in the grove of the meditators, the Sangha, the other meditators here, the other meditators around the world. Holding that golden light at your sun center as we send forth these petitions, these prayers, if you will. Radiate forth your yoga city, radiate forth your Kriya, your light, that it might join with all of the light, that it might join with the powers that be, to send forth your blessings, our blessings, to all of those in need. In your mind's eye, see Mother Gaia. And let us first send forth our blessings with the Om Shanti mantra to Mother Gaia, upon whose bosom we live, within whose aura we are experiencing life here. Let us send forth our gratitude and our blessings that she have all she needs. Feel the golden light radiate forth. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. For all of those who are entering the earth plane and for their helpers, we send forth our light that their entrance be harmonized. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. O ye powers that be, join with us in our petition, in sending forth this light for all of those upon the earth with hardened hearts, that their hearts may be softened, that the fear and anger dissolve away, being filled with compassion and joy and happiness. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. for all of those who are living with uncertainty, whose lives have been disrupted in any way at all. You know better than we that which they need. Send forth these blessings that all may heal, be well, be whole, find joy and happiness, that the oppositions cease to be, and be filled with wholeness. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We call upon Thee at this moment, O ye powers that be, to send forth Thy blessings to this Sangha, to these souls who are here together, that we might all, each of us, have that which we need most at this moment, to sweep clear the cobwebs, to lift, to vivify, to guide each step of our way. Feel the golden dewdrops of Ananda pouring forth upon Thee. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. And now for all of those souls who are leaving the earth plane, for their helpers in both realms, in all realms, that their journey be eased, that their way be eased. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Feel the golden dewdrops of Anandic bliss pouring down upon your crown center, a vivifying, strengthening, filling every cell of your being. Ananda, 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 da, da. Holding on to this feeling state of bliss. Cover your aura again in the golden light. the bliss and radiating it forth with each breath that you breathe. Thou art blessed. Thou art a blessing unto life. Seek to find your joy. Seek to find happiness with each breath that you take. And seek to become an ever greater blessing to life. Become ever kinder, ever gentler, ever more compassionate. One breath at a time. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Holding this feeling state, then return to the earth when you are ready. Namaste. Namaskar. Thank you for the blessings of your presence. Thank you for the blessings of your meditative energy. Thank you for sharing your blessings with all of those. Namaste, Ji. I am deeply, deeply grateful for you. Shanti.